Hey, remember McDonald's? Remember Grimace's birthday? Now, I'm sure you remember a couple months ago, McDonald's made a huge deal promoting their new purple berry shake. They released in the middle of June for Grimace's birthday, at which point you kind of remembered that Grimace used to be a character that McDonald used about 30 years ago. I didn't really understand the promotion, but they pumped a huge amount of money into it and it was trending hard. McDonald's pumped so much money into marketing this that they actually commissioned a company to make a Gameboy Color game that they released online on their website in a Gameboy Color emulator. Now, I'm not entirely sure why they did that, but I assume it's because the Gameboy Color was a pretty big deal the last time they actually used Grimace the character. Maybe they wanted to bring back some kind of nostalgia around that. I don't know. I don't like Grimace. It's like, why is purple gotta be Grimace, you know? Like, purple's a good color. It should be called, like, Smile. Like, yay. Why would you want to associate a Grimace with your product at all? I don't think anyone's ever liked this character. It's probably why they haven't used him in, like, 25 years. Regardless, they posted that game to the website, but somebody ripped the ROM off of that so you could play it anywhere, and then somebody took that ROM, put it on a cartridge. I bought that cartridge from Aliexpress. I think I spent $8. They're more like $5 now, unless, of course, you want to get in the more appropriate purple Gameboy Color cartridge, in which case it costs way more, so I bought the cheaper version. Story is old as time. So as a viewer of my channel, you're smart, you know that Game Boy Color cartridges were not the same as the ones made for the original Game Boy, but surprisingly a lot of people don't know that. It's probably because there are so few Game Boy Color exclusive games. So here we have the three typical styles of Game Boy cartridge. You have your original gray, which played in black and white. You have your Game Boy Color exclusive, which were often in a transparent case, and they have a bulge back here to stop it from being inserted into an original Game Boy. The Game Boy Color had a cutout for it. And then you have your games which were somewhere in between, like Pokemon Gold here. It was the same size and shape as the original Game Boy cartridge. You could put into original Game Boy, it would play in black and white there, but if you plugged into a Game Boy Color, it would be enhanced with some little color features. So these were typically the same molding as an original Game Boy cartridge, but they would print them in color so you would know they were special. So if you see the Grimace's Birthday cartridge in an original Game Boy shell, but in a different color, you might think that it'd be able to play in both a original Game Boy and a Game Boy Color, but it can only play in a Game Boy Color. Moving on. So comparing like to like, let's look at Grimace's Birthday versus Super Mario Land DX, both being Game Boy Color games on Game Boy style cartridges ordered from AliExpress for very little money. Looking inside the cartridge from the bottom, you can see that they both have a cutout for a little chip for some reason, although you can see that the Grimace's Birthday chip is different than the one in Super Mario Land DX. Both games are flexible in a way that Game Boy games should not be. Looking at the back, Made in Japan is a slightly different font between the two, so they were made with different molds, and you can see a little molding mark on Grimace's Birthday that is not on the back of Super Mario Land DX. Let's open these up real fast and see what's inside. Looking in from the back, very similar boards, but not the same board. Neither one has a battery. So if I had to guess, I'd say that the Grimace's Birthday board is newer, or at least better produced, just based on package selection, and it seems somewhat more efficiently laid out. Although there's a via on every single one of these pins, a little hole passing through, and I have no idea why. Also, interestingly, the Grimace's Birthday board has a little cutout here in the middle, which lines up with the screw hole with a real Nintendo produced cartridge, so you could actually probably fit this board in a real molding, whereas the other one you could not. And on Super Mario Land DX, it has this little cutout, which I was talking about earlier. That's to make space for this chip here, and since this chip is smaller in Grimace's Birthday, it does not need that cutout. If you don't need to have it, you shouldn't have it. But hold on, I know what you're thinking. Let's just hurry up and play the game already. So the game gives you an option of playing on your phone or on the computer. They obviously did not intend this to be ripped to a ROM, but just press A and it's fine. Start the game, and we'll go with normal mode because there's a weird angle to play a game at. You can see it well on camera, not so much for me back here. So we've got some story, quite a bit of story. Oh no, where is everybody? Find Grimace's friends in time to blow out the candles. Be sure to collect enough of his special birthday shakes for all the party guests. I peaked when I got invited to my friend's McD's birthday party and been chasing that high since, at Hamburglar. Does anybody know who that is? I have no idea who that is. Is that a McDonald's thing? Is that the Hamburglar? Is Hamiliam the Hamburglar? Is it a pun? Or like, is this an actual tweet? I'm actually quite confused by this. I don't understand what this is. So confused. Anyways. Is that Hamiliam? Is this cartoon girl Hamiliam? You gotta check on the Hamburglar, because Grimace... Is Grimace like the sheriff of like the town of which there's a Mr. McCheese? Why is he chasing the Hamburglar? Can anybody explain that? Oh, well, he'll try his best. He's very excited. Alright, pretty simple. Looks like you're collecting shakes and chasing down the Hamburglar.